Oh, this shirt is so annoying. Oh my god, see? I'm sticking out. I'm just gonna rip these off. Just say goodbye. I can't stand these things. Ugh, they always come out. Anyways.
Hi guys! Just wanted to say happy Valentine's Day since this video will be going up on Valentine's Day. I know Valentine's Day is kind of like a completely overdone holiday, but I do think there's like a little bit of a good meaning behind it. So, you know, whether your Valentine is like your boyfriend, your girlfriend, husband, wife, your best friend, yourself, maybe your dog, your cat, it doesn't matter, who gives a shit, just have a fun day. My favorite Valentine ever has probably been my dog, if I'm being honest. Just have a fun day. Love yourself, love the people that you're close to, and who cares? But the reason I am putting this video up on Valentine's Day is because it's going to be a video about compatibility and love and romance in the chart. I know I talk a lot about like the sun signs, and a little bit more general stuff when it comes to astrology, but I thought today would be a good opportunity to kind of dive a little bit deeper and show you a few things you can find out by looking at your chart. It has to do with like compatibility, love, romance, marriage, dating, that kind of stuff. I kind of wanted this video to be a little bit more casual, so I'm just going to sit down, sitting right in front of this couch. You can probably see underneath it, there's like ironing boards, just one, not multiple, like a box, like who cares though, whatever, it's a holiday. So if you are a beginner to astrology, you don't know what I mean when I say charts, all I'm saying is your sun sign is, you know, where the sun was at the time of your birth, and it's kind of like your outward self, and more of like a broader general description of your personality, but there's more to you than that. I think most of you know this, but in case you don't, because hey, we're all beginners at some point, basically you take your place of birth and like your city and your state and the time, your exact time of birth if you know it, and you can figure out your birth chart and you can see where all the planets were at the time of your birth. So I'm not gonna like dive into what a birth chart is right now, but that's basically it. You can find all sorts of videos and information on the internet kind of explaining that deeper. Today I'm gonna show you that when you look at your birth chart, what it says for you, you know, romantically, when it comes to dating, when it comes to like future relationships, marriages, blah blah blah. Basically, there's a few different ways that you can go about this. If you're just looking like for yourself and you want to just see like who you could potentially be compatible with, that's fine. All you need is your birth chart. If you're looking to compare your birth chart with like either, you know, your crush's birth chart or like your significant other's, then you're gonna need obviously both your birth charts, and that is called Synastry Readings or Synastry Astrology, Synastry Compatibility. It's all like the same thing. But usually when an astrologer is looking at both of the charts, it's like a synastry reading, if you've ever seen that word and not known what it means. That is kind of looking at different aspects, different placements, different things going on in both the charts, like kind of next to each other. You can also, you know, overlay the charts, and you can see different things from doing that. And those can be called like overlays or house overlays, and basically you see where your planets are falling in your significant other's chart, or where theirs are falling when they are overlaid on yours, and that can say a lot about your relationship. There's also something called a composite chart, and what that is you take both charts and you put them together as one, and it forms one totally unique chart for the two of you. And what that will show is different challenges that you guys face, different influences that, you know, come into your relationship. It just shows a lot of detail of what your relationship looks like as opposed to what the individual looks like on their own when put together. So it's its very own chart, and you can find all of these things. You can like get these for free online, and I will put, if I can find free links for them, I will put them down below. Those are kind of like a few different options, and I just want to say that this is actually a bit newer for me. Like over the past year or two is when I've really looked into synastry readings. So I'm sharing, you know, the knowledge that I have, but I am not like a complete and utter expert. I do enjoy it, but I'm not like, you know, the end-all be-all when it comes to synastry readings or compatibility readings within birth charts. But I want to share what I know to help you guys out. A lot of the information that I've learned has come from different books. A lot of it also comes from different websites, but one of them that I specifically wanted to point out is cafeastrology.com. I just think that her section on like romance in the charts, synastry, composites, all sorts of stuff is just very informative. So I will put a link to that down below as well. Quick and easy, what you want to look at when you look at your own birth chart. I am actually going to pull out my birth chart. I have told you guys many a times, I know, that I use the app Celeste to look at birth charts. This is what my birth chart looks like. It's not going to focus in, so but if you see me like looking down at something, it's my own birth chart. First things that you want to look at when you see your birth chart. So you can get this app for free and find your birth chart here, and then you want to be like, okay, where am I in terms of like my love life? You can look at what your sun is, but what you want to look at is your Venus position. So my Venus is in the 2nd house in Pisces. You want to look at your Mars position. My Mars is in my 12th house in Sagittarius. And you want to look at like Venus and Mars aspects. So you can see like if for example, my Mars was squaring my Venus, that would be something that I'd want to pay attention to. I'm not going to go into every aspect and what it means in this video because that would be way too long. My Venus shows me that it's in Pisces. I probably tend to be pretty sensitive when it comes to love. I might be, always looking for that romance or like that fantasy. When it comes to Mars in my 12th house, Mars can have a bit more to do with like action and sex and stuff. But yeah, so you can just kind of look at that sort of thing, and that can tell you a lot. I have videos on what those signs mean. And then you want to look at the house. So like for instance, my Venus is in my 2nd house, which the 2nd house has a lot to do with like your possessions, your values, like materials, because it's ruled by Taurus. So those things could be important to me in a relationship. But I don't want to get like too into my own chart. I'm just trying to give some examples for y'all. Next thing you want to look at is like what elements you have in your chart. So you want to see, is your chart ruled by like mostly water signs? Do you have a mix? Is it like a lot of fire? And you especially again want to focus in on like your sun, your moon, your Venus, your Mars. I guess you could look at your Mercury because that has a lot to do with communication and to kind of get an idea of what you could be like in a relationship. So again, we're just focusing on looking at your own chart right now. You want to look at your 5th house cusp. And basically when you're looking at your 5th house cusp, what that's going to tell you is how you are with romance and what kind of experiences you have and what you're looking for when it comes to like dating and romance and love. Say it was a Gemini. You might feel like you are kind of all over the place. It's hard for you to settle down when it comes to dating. You kind of date around a lot. If it's like Libra, maybe you kind of feel like you might be indecisive when it comes to dating. You might date more than one person, and that's just an example. So you're looking to attract is kind of what you attract. Then you can look at your 7th house or your 7th house cusp and also look at what's going on in these houses. For me, I have nothing in my 7th and 5th houses, but you can also look at that. So as far as your 7th house, which has to do with like partnerships and marriage, this you're going to be looking at to see like more of your long term and how you're gonna like sort of end up. So for me, mine is in Gemini. And so I'm going to attract people that have like Gemini-like qualities, energetic, intelligent, maybe very social. And that's true. I do tend to attract people like that into my life. I've actually dated quite a few Geminis. I'm married to a Gemini, which is very interesting. And I've had like a serious relationship with a Gemini in the past. Just interesting. So look at your 7th house for kind of like who you'll end up with in long-term relationships, partnerships, marriages, what you're looking for. I think that, it actually works out for me to attract like a Gemini because they tend to be more outgoing, social butterflies, more friendly, whereas I'm more of an introvert. I'm friendly, but I'm more shy, on the inside. I don't tend to be super social, so I do think that that is a good, balance for me. So definitely look at that. Maybe your 7th house is in Leo. You might look for people that are loyal, or you might attract them, either or. Maybe they're extravagant, into like the finer things in life, very family oriented. So you just have to look at that. And I think those are definitely very interesting things to look at. It can give you a really quick glimpse, but very detailed, right off the bat. So some other things you want to look at. I feel like this video is going to be so long, maybe I should make it like a part 2. Yeah, so when looking at like 2 different charts, again, like yours and your significant others, or maybe you're looking for like your friend and their boyfriend, or like your friend and their wife, like whatever is going on, you want to look at like the ascendants, because that can be very important. If both have like mirrored aspects, that can be really important. Say both are like a grand trine, that's extremely interesting and something you definitely want to focus on. You want to look at like the nodes of the moon. Just trying to like list some things, so this video isn't super long, but these are definitely things that have to do and play into like romance and stuff. You know, sign interchanges, like say for instance, your moon is in Cancer, their moon is in Taurus, and your Venus is in Taurus, their Venus is in Cancer. Something like that. Sun and moon aspects can show like natural connections, so all sorts of stuff like that. And just a couple like little things, if you're into like more of the sexual attraction, definitely pay attention to Mars. Say like Mars in the 5th when you're looking at like overlays or something, that can show like an intense want for this person. If it's in the 8th, it can show a deep sexual attraction. So there's all sorts of things you can look at. I hope like this has kind of opened your eyes a little bit. I do love like the 5th house cusp and the 7th house cusp. I don't want to get, like I said, too into like every aspect, but I hope this kind of like could help open your eyes a little bit. If you have any questions, definitely feel free to ask them down below. But again, just when you first have 2 charts in front of you, look at who's ruling, look at what is ruling each chart. Compare the sun, the moon, the ascendant, the Venus, the Mercury, the Mars. Look at aspects that, you know, are the same in both charts. Look at positions of Venus and Mars, where they are. Look at, you know, what houses are where, or what's in what houses and what that means, and then you can definitely go into diving into like overlays, composites, and all sorts of other stuff. So I hope this video was like somewhat helpful, and what the fuck. I will see you in my next video, which will be Aries compatibility, and that will probably be up this weekend. So I hope you all had a really great Valentine's Day and didn't mind me rambling and being all over the place. Hopefully I can edit this so it makes a little more sense. And I will see you in my next video. And have a good day or night. Happy Valentine's Day!